Ciao a tutti, io sono qui al Salone del Libro di Torino e non sono da solo, anzi a parte che sono in uno splendido set che è lo stand L'Ippocampo che diciamo rievoca una boutique francese, ma come vedete non sono da solo, anzi sono in ottima compagnia perché qui ho due grandissimi artisti, sono Mirafora Mina e Edoardo Lima e insieme sono...
Mina Lima,
che voi conoscerete già tantissimo perché ogni volta che vi parlo di libri che dovete assolutamente avere, che non sapevate di volere, saltano fuori loro, perché appena vedi un libro da loro curato, pum, parte veramente la magia. E i Mina Lima recentemente hanno pubblicato l'ultimo tassello, il nuovo tassello della collana Mina Lima Classics, ovvero il meraviglioso Mago di Oz. Quello che è sorprendente in questa collana è proprio il fatto che grandi classici della letteratura per ragazzi vengano amplificati, il loro universo venga amplificato attraverso illustrazioni e inserti cartotecnici veramente meravigliosi. E quindi sono veramente contento di poter stare con loro e di poter chiedere qualcosa in più rispetto al loro lavoro come studio grafico. So thank you very much for being here. Your background is cinematic. Because you are a studio who worked, for example, in the Harry Potter saga and Imitation Game, and lots of movies, creating iconic imaginaries. So, what was the deal into entering in the book world? The working process is similar or different?
It is very different, but it also from a creative perspective, it's a very natural transition from everything that we learned to do in cinema. So it feels quite, we feel quite at home in these books. But of course, there are all sorts of technical and commercial requirements for the work, which we never really had to consider when we're working in film. Because in film, you're you're always faking everything all the time, and you have a lot of liberty in film to be to do exactly what you want without any restrictions apart from money. So this has been a really interesting kind of exercise, if you like, in making us be a little bit more in the real world.
Well, also in every film we work, there's always a book, basically, that we have to design, have to create, especially in Harry Potter, have to create, I don't know, loads and loads of books for Hogwarts. So the passion for book has always been there, and now we feel very attached to books, and be able to design this collection has been absolutely.
It feels quite natural.
Present.
It's like our kind of comfort zone, isn't it?
But yesterday on our talk here, Ricardo said something that was really nice. That maybe because of our passion for films and our when I said that I wanted to be a film director when I was young, and he said, "Oh, no."
He said
it shows.
He said the books are almost like because they're the product of our studio and a group effort with our fantastic team back in London. The books are a little bit like a production which is orchestrated by us.
Yes.
So kind of like a direttore d'orchestra or regista. And that was really nice to hear. We never really thought of it like that because it's not like a traditional art director role that we have. It's more like having a family and driving the team, making sure that they, that we all speak the same language. Actually, that's the most important thing.
We always have to say a big thank you to our team back in London. They are amazing wizards.
One thing I'm really fascinated by reading the books you illustrated is the power you have to translate the soul of a novel into a whole visual universe. It must be difficult because you deal with very different stories and very different authors and very different universes. How do you feel it's the best way to get into the soul of a novel?
It's a good word, isn't it? To think there's a soul of the book.
I think all the titles we chose up to now, I think they have to be those ones up to now.
and also see it either because they have a good world already amongst the
Yeah.
readership, but also it was important that we chose things that would offer us opportunities to create the paper interactives. And I think in fact, in a way, this was probably the most challenging because
Giardino Segreto.
because there is
It's less fairy
more
tale.
linear,
It's
linear,
Yeah.
more real
Yeah.
story. So perhaps the most heavily illustrated.
Oh, the word we learned yesterday from Mango.
Babbano.
Babano.
That's the most
Babbano.
Most
Babbano.
But in the same way we approach the films, is always about the lead character. And so we always needed to think about Dorothy, Journey, or Mary, or Pinocchio. So it's all about them. So we need to make sure that his story, his point of view, is expressed.
represented.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you had to choose one book in the series of Mina Lima Classics, what should it be?
Oh, they get very jealous.
I knew it. I actually knew it, but I had to check.
Do you know what? Because when I read Pinocchio, and I think there was also a cartoon, not the Disney one, that was shown when I was young, and I was so in love with Pinocchio. But I was also annoyed because he always
He
got
never
in trouble.
learned.
He never
Yeah.
learned. He has to go all those things until at the end. No, but I love it. I absolutely love it, and the way that this book as well looks.
Because it was more of a departure in the design style, this one,
Yeah.
and because there's so much wood and craft and handwork in the story, like you said, in the soul of the book.
Yeah.
We wanted to express that in the style. So if
Yeah.
you look at the illustrations, they're much more like a
Muppet.
wood print,
Yeah.
like almost like a lot of black and white, very different. But hopefully they all have the same DNA.
But we try also not to change a little bit, in every book. So there is like the core is still Mina Lima, but every book we kind of introduce a different thing.
Pinocchio is actually my favorite too,
Oh, really?
because it was my favorite novel when I was a child, and I always loved the Collodi's book more than the Disney movie.
Yeah.
Because it's more complex. It's
Yeah.
also dark.
It's very
Yeah,
dark.
It's
really-
very dark.
A lot of them are.
Yeah, and I read it a lot and a lot of times. So when I knew you were working on Pinocchio, I was like, oh my god, I'm freaking out. I can't wait. And then when I saw there is the puppet inside, I was like, absolute perfection.
And the theater as well.
yeah,
I
the
love it.
theater. It's amazing. And yours,
I think it's actually this one, and
It's beautiful.
not by coincidence
Wizard of Oz.
that it's the latest, but I think it was also a complete sort of journey into madness, into a real crazy vision. A whole chapter in green because it's through the point of view of them with the green glasses. But I think it also gave us as a studio some light in a really dark time last
Yes.
year.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels quite like a protection.
Yes.
Protection from the darkness.
what's the most exciting thing in your profession?
I think for me it's like having created a design studio that is an expression of us from the gallery, shop and the studio. We now have all in one palazzetto. And it feels like a little bit of a dream because it was kind of something we never really imagined would happen. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
and because it's the product of our passion for everything we do. So every day when I go there, I kind of I don't want to ever lose the kind of the charm of opening the door and going, oh my god, this is kind of our baby, and all the people that are inside it that are part of the creation. So, and everything in that building is the Mina Lima work. It's, for example, we don't exhibit or sell anybody else's work, so it feels like a little factory of creativity. And I think for me that's the most amazing thing.
I think also is that we are, I think like maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when people say, oh, I want to become a graphic designer because of you, we didn't really know me and understood, like, oh, why? I'm just doing silly things for films. But now people come to us all the time, especially young, saying that we are inspiring them to become designers and the passion for graphic design. And when they come to talk to us about that, we cry all the time.
Lots of the book in the series were also major pictures by Disney. And Disney created a very tough imaginary you know. So Alice is blonde with a blue dress,
Yeah.
Dorothy has red hair and red shoes, but actually in the
No,
novel
no.
there
Yeah.
aren't red shoes. Maybe someone read The Wizard of Oz, but will always imagine Dorothy with the red shoes and
But
not
with
the
the-
silver
yeah.
one. So I think you really found the power to put your signature in and fight
Yes, it
against
is
that.
like a fight, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and because Dorothy has black hair.
I think that sometimes in films you have to fake a lot of stuff all the time, and sometimes I understand sometimes why decisions are made. Maybe the silver on camera didn't look good, and
Yeah.
with the contrast with the yellow brick road. So we did that as well in Harry Potter. A few things don't have to be adjusted for the film, but we wanted to be absolutely loyal to the original text. So, and we also wanted to put our mark.
Yeah, I think it's a nice
Yeah.
challenge for any creative person to try and
Yeah.
rethink, or like you said, offer their own vision of a text or a classic piece of work. I mean, everything we know. It's weird because even from the Harry Potter films, a lot of the iconic pieces that if I say to you Marauder's Map, you probably in
Yeah,
your
you
mind you
think
probably
that-
think of but then it's probably been drawn lots of times by other people. But so popular culture does do that. It does kind of shape the way we think, and it would be nice if we could try and make a little mark as well. And,
Yeah.
and it's kind of evolution of. It would be boring if everybody did the same thing.
Yeah, even if it's not in your plans, is there a book you really love with all your heart that you would like to illustrate one day? Even if it's not a classic, even if it's not in your plan, even if you believe it's impossible, is there a book that you really hide in your heart and say, oh my god, I would love to work on that?
An original Mina Lima story.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
I think that is
yeah.
what we really want to do.
I think we've
Yeah.
got inside our head, both of our heads. There's already, and some words, already some characters and situations that are kind of percolating.
Yes.
And we need to give them space to have a.
It's like all the
an outlet.
characters that we're thinking they're all behind us. Like,
Yeah,
hello,
come on.
we needed to.
You've
be
done,
Hurry
you've
up.
done, yeah, you've done everybody else's work. It's our turn now. So.
No, but it would be lovely also to be able to, I don't know, go more dark with Draculas and.
Oh,
Yeah, but I
I
think.
would love
So
a
it's-
black one. I would
Yeah, yes, exactly. Me too. so it's either dark or Mina Lima, or perhaps both.
But I think the Mina Lima is going to be maybe the next one.
Great. Thank you very much, Mina Lima, for being
Thank you
here.
so
Thank you
much
so
for
much.
welcoming us
Yes.
here. It's been such a fantastic welcome in Italy.
Now, every time we come to Italy, we feel at home and we feel so.
And thanks to Ippocampo for
Of course.
for the support that we've been had with all of our babies.
You're really welcome. And grazie mille per aver visto questo video. Loro sono i Mina Lima, che hanno creato questa splendida collana di classici della letteratura per ragazzi con illustrazioni e certi cartotecnici. Cioè veramente recuperateli, immergetevi, perché la lettura non è mai stata così magica. Quindi grazie mille ancora e ci vediamo al prossimo video. Ciao ciao!
Ciao ciao!